How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to Do the Work Sports. It's another day. It's another glorious day out there. Hope you guys are having a great time. Today we're going to be talking about, you probably guessed it, we're not talking about Cincinnati. We're going to be talking about the AFC playoffs, the NFC playoffs, and the NFL. What's it looking like? Who's going to go to the Super Bowl? Who's going to win it all? I've got my predictions right here. Right now in the AFC playoff chase, the Baltimore Ravens are sitting pretty at 12-2. They just demolished the Jets on Thursday night, the last Thursday night football game of the entire season. New England Patriots surprisingly have lost 2 in a row. At this point, Cincinnati Bengals, we have more wins as Cincinnati Bengals than the Patriots do with 1 in the month of December. New England is 10-3. Sitting in third place is the Kansas City Chiefs. 9-4. The Houston Texans are 8-5. They're sitting in fourth place, followed by the Buffalo Bills at 9-4 and Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-5. Still in the playoff hunt, still in the chase, still got the nose up in the air trying to track down that position and that lucky number 6 spot or the 5th spot in the playoffs is the Tennessee Titans at 8-5, the Cleveland Browns at 6-7, the Oakland Raiders at 6-7. You got the Indianapolis Colts at 6-7, and the Denver Broncos surprisingly still in it at 5-8. Let's be realistic here. I'm going to save you all the trouble. I'm going to save you all the thought process. I'm sorry to the Colts. I'm sorry to Denver. I'm sorry to Oakland, and I'm sorry to Cleveland fans. You guys are not going to make the playoffs this year. You had a good run. Still get your wins. Win as many games as you can because you're still in the hunt. But here's the thing. It really comes down to these 4 teams that in the AFC who I think have the potential of getting in and who have the potential of getting out. The Tennessee Titans are the team that I really believe is going to make the playoffs. You look at what Ryan Tannehill's doing out there. By the way, Adam Gase, how you feel now? You didn't like Ryan Tannehill when he was down in Miami. The Tennessee Titans are able to pick Ryan Tannehill up. They benched the Heisman Trophy winner of Marcus Mariota this year. And that coach, all he wanted to do, Gray Bill, all he wanted to do when he benched Mariota was explore his options and to be able to score more points. What happens is they've only lost 1 game with Tannehill in. Tannehill was able to come back from like a 20-point deficit almost against the Kansas City Chiefs and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City of all places. So right now, the 4 teams that I'm really thinking are either going to make it or not going to make it is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Houston Texans, the Buffalo Bills, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, you might be surprised that the Buffalo Bills are on here, but you got to think that New England is what's really keeping them from being higher on this list. And I really don't think New England's going to drop any more games. I could be mistaken. Now, I got the next 3 games for each of these 4 teams up. Right up the gate. Those of you who might not know or do know, Pittsburgh plays the Buffalo Bills this Sunday evening. Coming up, this is the biggest game in AFC, I think, as far as the playoff contention goes, as far as anything competitive goes for the playoffs. The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers got Buffalo, and I think it's in Pittsburgh of all places, Buffalo has a tough order on hand. But the Steelers' next game is the New York Jets, and then they have the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers, in order to make the playoffs, they need to win this game against the Bills, and they need to beat the Jets. If they lose to either one of them teams, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to lose to the Jets, so this Buffalo Bills game is the toughest game that Pittsburgh is going to need to win. It's the second toughest game left on the schedule, and it's the most important game left on the schedule in my personal thoughts and opinions. Then you got the Houston Texans. They have the Tennessee Titans this week, so Texans, Titans, Bills, and Steelers. These games are very important. I guess you could say that the Tennessee Titans game and the the Tennessee Titans game versus the Houston Texans is a very big game as well, because whoever wins this game most likely will end up in the playoff position spot as well. The Houston Texans 8-5. If Tennessee wins, they'll end up moving up to 9-5. If Houston wins, they'll be 9-5. So this game, whoever wins, is probably going to be in the playoffs. They get to play each other twice, because here's the remaining schedule for the Houston Texans. They got the Tennessee Titans, then they got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then they got the Titans again to finish off the season. So there is a good chance that the Tennessee Titans and Texans Week 17 game is going to be the most important game that either of these teams have had all year. Then you got the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have the toughest schedule, I think, out of the teams that's in here, with the Steelers, and then they have the Patriots, and then they have the Jets. The only other game that the Texans have, the Tennessee Titans have, is they will be playing the Saints. So they'll be playing it. So the Titans' schedule is Texans, Saints, Texans. So the Titans have a tall order as well. So this games is coming up for these teams are highly important. They're going to be highly competitive. These 4 teams need to win every game if they want to secure their spot in the playoff hunt. I think they'll be able to do that, but it's going to take some time. Now, moving on over to the NFC, San Francisco sitting at 11-2 in the number 1 spot, followed by the Green Bay Packers. San Francisco beat the Green Bay Packers, by the way, so keep that in mind. They also was able to go into New Orleans and beat the New Orleans Saints in a slobber knocker, as JR would say it. Number 2 is the Green Bay Packers. Number 3, New Orleans Saints at 10-3. Green Bay's also sitting at 10-3. Then you have the 6-7 Dallas Cowboys. Then you got the number 5 Seattle Seahawks at 10-3. Then the Minnesota Vikings at 9-4. One of these teams does not belong in the playoffs. Do you have any idea which team that might be? Do you have any idea who that team is? I'll give you a chance to answer. It's We Dem Boys. And now you might be saying, Jimmy, how are you going to talk trash about the Dallas Cowboys when your team has only won 1 game this season? Well, here's the reason why I'm going to talk trash on Dallas. And I was really not talking trash on Dallas. It's talking trash on the coach, Jason Garrett. You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got Amari Cooper. You got Dak Prescott. You got a good offensive line. You got a good defense. You got Michael Gallup, Randall Cobb. And you are sitting at 6-7? How are you sitting at 6-7? You should be sitting at 10-3. You should be sitting at 9-4. You should be sitting at 11-2 for that matter. So the fact that you are sitting at 6-7 is an outrage. It's embarrassing. I'm sorry. This may not make you happy. I get it, but this is my opinion. You look at this stats, you look at that team, they should not be sitting at 11-2. So Dallas Cowboys, you will have a new coach at the end of this season. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's going to be a new coach. Now, it's still in the hunt is the 8-5 Rams, the 7-6 Bears, and the 6-7 Eagles. Listen, I guess they go off of I don't think Dallas or the Eagles deserve to be in the playoffs, but it looks like one of these 2 teams is going to make it because they are the leaders of their division. Now, you have, for the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys are in this hunt because I think the Dallas Cowboys, out of all these teams, Minnesota, Seattle, New Orleans, Green Bay, San Francisco, is the only team that has the very likely chance of not making the playoffs this year. Getting myself thirsty up in here. Now, Dallas still has the Rams. They play the Rams this week. So Rams, Dallas, this is a very important game as far as NFC playoff chases go. Both the teams need these wins. Then the Dallas will have the Eagles and the Redskins. If the Dallas can get past the Rams and the Dallas can get past the Eagles, they'll be in the playoffs. So these next 2 games, they have to win. These are must-win games for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Rams, I just told you they played Dallas. Rams will then have the 49ers and then the Cardinals. The Rams have any chance of making the playoffs, they got to beat the Cowboys, they got to beat the 49ers, and they got to beat the Cardinals. I believe they got to win all 3 games in order to make the playoffs. And then you have the Bears, and the Bears play the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Vikings. Out of all these teams, the Bears has the worst schedule that you can have at the end of the year. They have the toughest matchups that you can have at the end of the year. And I don't think the Chicago Bears are going to have the team to do it. They can't ever seem to get the job done against the Green Bay Packers. The Chiefs, I don't know if they can defeat the Chiefs, and I don't think they can beat the Vikings. So, that all being said, welcome to the first team eliminated out of this hunt, the Bears. You know what? You guys need to pick up a quarterback, I think, next year. Maybe help your offensive line out a little bit or something. But I think your greatest weakness is in your quarterback position. So, Bears, if you can get a decent quarterback, I think next year we'll be talking about how you are in the playoffs. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles have the Redskins, Cowboys, and Giants. The Eagles are just kind of like the Cowboys. The Eagles have to beat the Redskins, and then they have to beat Dallas. If they can do them 2 things, Eagles go into playoffs. Dallas is out. And that's all she wrote, folks. Now, here's who I think's going to the Super Bowl. Early prediction right now. Who's going to the Super Bowl? From the AFC, Baltimore Ravens. Of course they're going to the Super Bowl. I can see possibly New England, possibly the Chiefs. But you ask me right now, Baltimore Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. They're going to be playing against none other than, and this was a tough one. The NFC is looking kind of even. Anybody can win on any given Sunday, any given Saturday when they start playing the playoff games. So for me, I'm going with none other than the 49ers. I think they have the best defense. They have the talent on the outside as far as wide receiver goes with Emmanuel Sanders and Deebo Samuels. And then with that three-headed monster that they've had running at the running back position with Mostert, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Breida. And then Kyle Shanahan's play calling has been outstanding this year. They may not have the most strong quarterback. They might not have the best quarterback, but Jimmy G's holding his own out here. So I'm going to give Jimmy G some love. But it's going to come down to Baltimore and the 49ers. And when I look at these two teams going against each other, obviously it makes you have a flashback the last time these guys faced together, but it was hardball versus hardball. It was the older brother Jim versus the younger brother John. And the Baltimore Ravens were able to overcome and beat the 49ers to win that Super Bowl. So I think the 49ers get the revenge. I think Kyle Shanahan, there's not enough tape on him to know everything you need to know to plan for him. Well, John Harbaugh, he's been in the league for so long that people's going to know kind of how to scheme for him, what kind of plans he likes. And I think if any defense can shut down Lamar Jackson, it's going to be the 49ers. They're tough on the run. They're tough on the pass. And I really think they're going to have a game plan to how they're going to shut down Lamar Jackson, because I think if you shut down Lamar Jackson, you beat the Baltimore Ravens. I think the 49ers had the better defense. I don't know if they had the better offense, but I would say they got good enough offense to win the game. Defense wins championships. So that's my prediction on here to Do the Work Sports. I hope you guys enjoy this. Give me your prediction. Who's going to the playoffs? Who's going to the Super Bowl? And who's winning the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments section. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you like what I'm doing. If you have any ideas of what you want me to cover sports-wise, you let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'm open to everything. Your guys' opinions matter. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear your criticisms. So let your boy know. Thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys have a very good and blessed day.